It's about time. Time to transform your ELA classroom into a writing workshop. Writing workshop in the English Language Arts middle school classroom is all about time and how you give writers time to express themselves through voice and choice. Running a successful writing workshop in your ELA course does not have to be stressful or overwhelming. In fact, it actually saves you time. I'll give you some time-saving tips at the end of this video, so stick around so you don't miss any of that. Today, I'm going to show you how you can manage your class time to your advantage and improve your writer's literacy skills as well. Hey, middle school ELA teachers, I'm Kathy Harsh. Welcome to the Teach to Write for Middle School channel, where you can get the tips and tricks to help your middle school writers to improve their writing skills and keep your sanity at the same time. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Please take a moment to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like so you won't miss out on any of my future videos. In fact, they're going to be coming out every Monday. As a teacher, you know middle school students are full of energy and imagination. They love communicating with their phones via text and TikTok, so they do want to learn how to communicate creatively and more effectively. So how can we bring that expressive creativity into our ELA classrooms? Well, by using a writing workshop approach that gives writers voice, choice, and time, but also meets the expectations of your district and state standards. With the writer's workshop approach, you call your students writers. The development of their writing and reading comes directly from their identity as a writer. Their whole perspective changes from a student who completes assignments or grade to writers who want to communicate a message, writers who want to express themselves in a variety of ways. Readers often gloss over things that a writer does, but writers don't do that. We study what other authors do, so we can be more effective and entertaining as writers. So that brings me to what a typical day looks like in a writing workshop classroom. Before I share my typical writing workshop schedule with you, I wanted to ask you guys, do you use a writer's workshop approach in your ELA classroom? And if so, how do you schedule your workshop class period? Leave a comment and let me know down below. This is my typical day, and it's based on a 50 to 60 minute period. This is pretty much an everyday kind of schedule. There are times where we do go off the schedule, like if we do an escape room or an author celebration, but for the most part, we stick with this schedule. The very first thing we do is a bell ringer. As the students come in, they have a bell ringer activity that's usually some sort of pre-writing activity or something that they read. It could be a mentor sentence, and they have to do something with it independently. Then we might go into a partner share. That's why there's a question mark there. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just go straight into my mini lesson, and that's only 10 to 15 minutes long. I try to keep it as short as possible because buzzing phones in pockets also can pull students away. So I try to make sure that I keep my lessons nice and short. I use a timer for everything that I do in the classroom. I use different timers so that it changes things up. And I try to build in as much interactivity as possible. We could have another partner share during the mini lesson or after it. And then we go into writing workshop. Now, writing workshop, sometimes I break it up into two parts. It could be all writing that day. It could be all reading that day. It kind of depends, but I set a timer and I have students work for 10 to 15 minutes. And the reason I do this is so that they stay focused and on task. It's sort of like the Pomodoro effect, or is that what it's called? I'm not sure. But anyway, what I do is I have them work for 10 to 15 minutes. The timer goes off, and then we do a partner share. I also might redirect their attention to what it is that we're studying and point something out to them, especially if I see that a lot of students aren't understanding. This is also the time in which I go around and conference with students, either one-on-one or with groups. The next 10 to 15 minutes, I continue with those workshop conferences and students continue to read or write. And then we have our last part is the review share. Now this I keep sacred. And the reason I do is because this is kind of like our whole group share. I want to connect us all back together as a class again, just like I had at the beginning of the class. And the more I build this in, the more they're going to get used to each other and used to sharing with each other. The more kids get to know each other, the more understanding they're going to be, the more empathetic they're going to be, the more respect they're going to have for each other. And it just makes for a better classroom and environment. And they learn from each other. Then, of course, the last couple of minutes, we clean up, the students pack up. That's when they can finally take out their phones and answer their friends who have been texting them all period. But other than that, that is our day. By the way, this worksheet is a little sneak peek of what I have coming up for you and something that is very exciting. It's the 5-day challenge that I'm opening up very soon to set up your own writing workshop course. So if you want to transform your ELA course into a writing workshop environment, then this challenge is for you. So make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so you can find out when that's going to happen. With this type of schedule, your bell ringers prepare students for the mini lesson, and your mini lesson segues into your writing reading workshop. Frequently breaking from activity to share and review allows for interactivity, social emotional growth, and lots of learning from each other. Now, the type of writing workshop that I use does not completely consist of student choice activities. We're usually working on the same skill or project, and we're often reading the same texts. I may assign a mentor text to read and discuss, and then the writers are given a choice about what form their writing will take, like maybe what genre they choose, or what mood or tone they want to create. If you need to teach a particular genre, like say argumentative writing, we all have to teach that, right? You can give writers their choice of topic and what articles they want to read. Giving your writers too many choices can hinder them as writers. They can become overwhelmed. So build in choice gradually with small activities that are not worth a huge amount of points for their grade. And as the year progresses and you've taught these great strategies for breaking writer's block and teaching them how to comprehend complex texts, then you can loosen the reins a little bit and let them have even more choice. But you don't want to do it right out of the gate because they'll get lost or they'll end up staring at a blank computer screen for 5 or 6 class periods and not get anything done. So even though choice is important in a writing workshop, you don't have to give them every single choice on every single thing. You can build in small choices throughout as you are teaching them the important writing skills they need to know. So, how does a writing workshop actually save you time? Won't you have a lot of writing to read and grade? Not really, because there are some time-saving tips that I can show you through my channel here every Monday, and I'm going to give you a few today. First of all, you're going to spend less time teaching procedures at the beginning of the year and keeping it up throughout the year because you're going to be on a set schedule. And kids are going to know what to do and when. When you have good procedures in place, you won't have as many behavioral interventions that you have to do. You'll spend less time on student misconduct because you're building relationships with them and keeping them busy. You can also grade as you move about with your writers, checking on their progress. A writer's workshop in middle school has a lot of moving parts, but once you get used to planning out your class periods this way, you're going to find it easier to teach writing and reading. In my next video, which comes out next Monday, you'll find out about the essentials of a successful writing workshop in the middle school classroom. So click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and watch for this video next Monday. See you soon.